So you've got your Mounjaro, or you're getting your Mounjaro. What else are you going to have to get? Let's talk about that. One of the things that people don't really talk about, or you never see advertised on the websites, is what else you might need to get in addition to your Mounjaro pen. So I just want to break it down into 3 categories. Things you'll need if you're just taking it normally, things you'll need if you're being a wee bit creative with the use of it, and additional nice-to-haves. As I'm going through this, if you can think of anything I've missed, then let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about the stuff I'm talking about that I got, then ask me in the comments. Everything I talk about in this video, most things I talk about in this video, I'll put a link in the description. Some of them are affiliate links. Full disclosure, if you use those affiliate links, I get a little kickback, and thanks for using them. Okay, so first off, if you got the pen or you're getting the pen and you decide what you're going to do is you're going to use it as prescribed, as directed, exactly as the pen manufacturers tell you to. Are you going to need anything else? No. Thanks for watching. Seriously though, even if you're going to take it as directed, you're going to need one of these. A Sharps box. Mine's about half full. My supplier sent me one with my first order. I've heard that some don't. They're easy to buy. Go on Amazon, look up Sharps box, and you'll find one. So even if you're taking it normally, you might want to get some things. You might want to get some supplements. And they range from supplements that might help with the fact that you're eating less, to supplements you might want to address side effects with. First off, supplements based on the fact that you're going to be eating less. One of the things you'll find stated all the time is that you want to favour protein. If you can't do that, then what you might want to do is buy protein supplements. Anytime I've ever used protein supplement, I've used my protein. It's just impact whey protein. Scoop of that in water if you're a psychopath, or in milk if you're not. Will give you 22 grams of protein. So it's a good way to boost your protein intake. Up from that, you might want to get some creatine. There's a lot of research out there about creatine and its benefits. And I take it because I'm trying to build muscle. I take it because I'm working on climbing and improving my climbing. I don't really take it anything to do with the fact I'm on Mounjaro, but it's a useful thing to think about. If you're on Mounjaro losing weight and you want to retain or build muscle, could be useful. The other thing that's very common is dehydration when you're on Mounjaro. And how I address that is by taking additional electrolytes. Now, I do that in one of 2 ways. One way is this, which is bulk electrolyte powder, which for some reason has stains on it. When I was looking at getting electrolyte powder, I just did my normal research, and this one came up as one of the better ones in the UK. It's unflavoured, and I'll tell you why it's unflavoured in a second. The other option is these fizz tablets, which are hydration, electrolytes, and vitamins. I got these first. They're flavoured. They have a few calories, not many, but they have a few calories. And when I went climbing, I put these in my water, and because they taste nice, it's useful to have them. The reason I have the unflavoured is because I've been experimenting with fasting and extended fasting. And if you take these, arguably, it breaks your fast. So I got the unflavoured ones for my extended fasting. Both are good. Now on to side effects. I've not really had that many side effects. That's not true. I've kind of had 0 side effects compared to some of the side effects people get. So the only real side effect I've had is constipation. And I address that in one of 2 ways. This which is a fibre boost supplement, which is just one you put in drinks. I take it when my constipation is at worst. And the other is these beauties, Max Strength Senecot. I don't take these all the time. What I do if I've been backed up for a few days, I'll take this probably for a couple of nights in it before it has its effect. And it has its effect. So that's all you really need to think about getting if you're looking at side effects. If you're looking at being creative with how you take Mounjaro, and by creative I mean from using the golden dose all the way through to short dosing or taking a smaller dose from a larger pen, you're going to need some additional things. First off is these pen needles. Now, I've not had to buy pen needles. I just checked and I've got about 15 of them left, and that's because of two reasons. My supplier supplies me with 6 for each pen, and I have 3 pens stockpiled in the fridge. But I will have to buy them eventually, and you can get them on a few places. I've looked them up on Amazon, and you can find them on Amazon. What I would recommend is just get the ones that are the same length and width as yours. So this is a 31G 5mm, so that's the ones I'd get. Or if you prefer, you can get them from a medical supplies company like UK Medi, they have them as well. So either look in the links I provide or just Google it. But you will need them because, for example, even if you're just taking 5mg from a 10mg pen, that's 8 needles you're going to need. Let alone if you take 2.5mg from a 15mg pen, that's 24 needles you're going to need. So you'll need these. The other thing you'll need if you're going to use the golden dose, I don't want to get into it in this video, I've done plenty of videos on it, but some pens out there can still be forced. So once it stops working, you can force it and it will work and you'll be able to take your 5th dose. I keep getting comments, mine works, but there are definitely the newer pens or some pens that don't work. You can't force it. When you do force it, the inside stop working. So I find the easier and more reliable way, what I mean by more reliable is easier to be accurate, is I use syringes. Now, I have some options here. I have these syringes, which are the first syringes I got. And again, links in the description. These are the first pens I got. Now, what these are insulin syringes. So when you look at them, you'll see, although this says it's a 1ml syringe, it's not marked in milliliters, it's marked in units. And basically a full dose from a pen, any dosage, a full dose is 60 units. I have a comprehensive video on using a pen and short dosing. I'll put that in the description. So you have this pen or you have a smaller pen, and you only want the smaller pen if you're short dosing, i.e. taking a smaller dose from a larger pen. So there's these options, or I have this option, which is from UK Medi. The thing I don't like about this one is it's finer. And what I mean by finer is it's finer than the pen I'm used to. And it's so fine that what I find is twice when I've gone to use it, the needle is just bent. I don't mean bent when I inject it into myself, I mean bent when I injected it into the pen. So it's completely up to you. The syringes on Amazon aren't marked as medical use. They're marked as sterile. I got a few comments that you can't trust the sterility. I decided to take that chance. I'm quite happy to take that risk. I got these, and to be honest, I don't like them. I'm going to go back to these ones. So that's syringes, and the other thing you'll need is wipes. Obviously, your provider will probably supply you with wipes, but you'll need more if you're using the pen more. And I just got these, again, from Amazon. Link in the description. that's about it for being creative. There are some nice to haves. The first nice to have I got was this. This is a travel cool bag. If you're going to be traveling with your pen, i.e. you're going to need to use your pen while you're away, this little bag keeps it fresh. It has little freezer packs. You put these in the freezer, and then before you go, you load your pen up. Your pen pops in here. There's plenty of room for even 2 pens, couple of syringes, couple of wipes, couple of needles, and then it all wraps up. You zap it up. Now, I've only used it once when I was away for a weekend, and I was in the car for 10 hours, and when I got where I was going, took it out, and it felt as cold as it does when I take it out of the fridge. You have to pop it in a fridge where you're going, bear in mind, because it won't keep it cold forever. And then the last thing I got was this. Now, I'll be honest with you, I only got this because I was looking at fasting. But in hindsight, it might have been a useful thing to get. And this is basically a blood glucose meter. What it does, this version, it measures 2 things. It measures your blood glucose and your ketones. Blood glucose is a measure of how much blood sugar you have, which is kind of attached to insulin level. Ketones are an indication that your body your liver, I think it is producing ketones so that your body can use fat as energy instead of stored glucose. It'll only do that if your glucose level gets low. What you'll find is the higher your ketone level, the more you'll be burning fat. Therefore, the more weight you'll be losing. So it can be a useful thing just to keep track of. It comes with a little stabber. That's not what it's called. You basically just prick your finger. It has some strips. It measures your blood glucose level, and it will give you a report, and you can keep a track of it. For fasting, which is what I've used it for, it will also give you what's called the GKI ketosis number, and that's a really good measure for how much into ketosis you are. The lower the better, and that's a really, really good measure of how much autophagy is happening. And if you don't know what that is, it's okay. If you want to know what that is, I'll put a link to my video on my extended fasting. That's everything I think. That's everything I have. It's probably more than anyone needs. I'm a bit obsessive when it comes to these things. So just to recap, if you're only going to use the pen normally, you don't really need anything, with the exception of a Sharps box. If you're going to be using it normally and might have side effects, you want some fibre supplement and maybe something to address constipation. I can't help you with any of the other side effects. I haven't had them. You might want to take some protein supplements, and I've recommended some of them. If you're going to be creative with a pen, you'll need pen needles, you'll need syringes, only if you're going to be using the 5th dose or the golden dose. You'll need extra wipes, and if you want the nice to haves, you might want a cool bag. If you're going, you don't get it if you're not going on holiday. And if you're obsessed about numbers like me, you might want to get a glucose/ketones monitor. If you're still here, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, drop me a word in the comments regarding anything that you think I've missed, or asking any questions about any of this stuff. Really, if you're taking your pen normally, that is all you need.